Australia, there's a 95-year-old woman with dementia who is fighting for her life because she was tasered by police at her care home.
Not just once either. She's called Clare Nowland. She's only 5'2". She was reportedly walking slowly towards officers in her walking frame and apparently holding something that looked a bit like a steak knife. And the officer is then thought to have fired their taser weapon not once, but twice.
This story has caused outrage around the world, and we can speak to a friend of Clare Nowland's family, Andrew Thaler, who's in Cooma, where the incident took place. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Andrew, people cannot understand what threat a 95-year-old woman, who I understand is 5'2", doesn't weigh very much and uses a walking frame, what threat she could possibly have posed to police that would require them to use a taser. Do you or her family understand what happened?
Thank you. Nobody understands at all anywhere, and it's something that we are all struggling to put into words. It is simply unimaginable, and it is quite possibly that Clare is the oldest person on the planet to have ever been tasered. She is 43 kilos, 95 years of age. It is outrageous and it is shocking, and that is offset by an enormous outpouring of grief and well wishes and prayers from all around the world.
Why were the police called in the first place? What was the problem?
Well, we don't have those answers, and that's partly why I'm helping to speak out, because that is an answer that everybody wants. And the issue is that it's around 4 a.m. in the morning. There are no nurses in the nursing home. There are care staff, and they might have panicked. They might have not been able to properly assess the situation and thought that they should call police. So Clare was not in her room. She was in another room in another part of the facility. And that, again, also raises some strong questions.
Now,
so I think that it's...
One way to clear this up in a minute or so would be if the police were to release the body cam footage, which was taken by the police at the scene. But the senior police officer involved in this case has refused to do that. In fact, he says he hasn't even looked at it. She hasn't even looked at it. She's just heard the audio and she doesn't need to look at it. What do you make of that? Well,
that's just further outrage. It's incredible to think that our top cop, our police commissioner in New South Wales, that's her there. You would think she would need to reassure Parliament, the minister, the community, that the correct policing has been undertaken by her underneath the staff underneath of her. And she can't do that. She cannot tell the Parliament that the correct thing has been done. We don't need the body cam footage released now, but we need to know that it has been properly assessed and that the right response has been undertaken. And I think that if this was an average everyday person or a football player, they would be charged and arrested and all that kind of thing. And we have no information about that at all. And certainly it appears there are no charges yet laid, and the policeman is probably hiding in a motel somewhere in another town. It is further outrage.
Yeah, we understand the senior constable responsible for the incident is an officer of 12 years' experience. But they've been taken off duty and their status is under review. A critical incident investigation has been launched. I can't imagine that they can suppress that body cam footage for very long. And interestingly, that police commissioner's assistant police commissioner said tasers are intended for self-defence, but he could not transport himself to the mind of the actual officer or officers. I mean, none of us can imagine what was going through their mind that they did this. Look, tell us about Clare Nowland, because she, at 95 years old, she's obviously a figure in the local community, small community, and quite a high-profile figure, wasn't she?
Yes, there you go. She was parachuted for her 80th birthday and parachuted again for our 85th birthday. And if you look at the photos, she's loving life. She's living large. She was very strong with her church. She ran what we have over here as Sir Vincent de Paul Society, a charity thrift shop, secondhand clothes and house bric-a-brac. They give a lot of charity and support and electricity vouchers and food vouchers and what have you. They raise money. And she ran that for a long time. She knew everybody in the town and everybody knew her. And this is not how a life lived in service of the community should be taken.
The reason that you're speaking on behalf of the family is because, absolutely understandably, they're at her bedside. Can we ask you what's her condition this morning? How is she?
Well, she wasn't expected to make the night. So it's currently 5 p.m. here on Australian time. And a lot of people and some of the family were shocked that she made it through last night, and she's still hanging on now. She's on end-of-life care, and that's quite dire. So all of the family is very grateful for the prayers from everybody coming in. Yeah. We don't have easy access to updates because, unfortunately, the family are being pressured, I think, by the police not to talk to anyone at all. And so I'm trying to assist and make sure that the community can get some answers and get some updates, because there is so much enthusiasm and interest and passion and so much well-wishing that when the police tell the family not to talk to anybody, well, they're not able to receive that love and care and prayer. So that is an unreasonable amount of pressure, again, on the family, and we're challenging that as a community as well.
You can add our prayers to those which are flowing your way. We pray for the best possible outcome. We really, really do.
Yeah, so
truly shocking story.
Andrew Thaler, thank you very much indeed. She's got 8 children and nearly 60 grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And what an undignified way to be treated. Yeah. Right, it is 19 minutes past